You can get a soda.
When I was 18, my father gave me a book. That book was called Pretty the Blues. All right. Who knows that book? Right? Come on, give it up for that book. And I think if every 18-year-old got that book, and you get it sound, keep it scoring, it'd be a better world. Is that right, John? And that book captures a moment in history, a moment where jazz and where mumbles, as it was called, intertwined and interlined in a divine dance of sound, of music, of chemistry, of energy, of creativity, of bopping, dropping sounds in a time when things were crashing and wars were exploding and the human consciousness was eroding. There was something else happening, something rising, moving, grooving, jumping, popping in and out of alleyways, up into Harlem, something beyond stardom, something that grew in a garden wherever it was planted. A mighty, groovy weed. That even though it's been outlawed, it's been repressed, oppressed, it cannot be stopped because it continues to drop and seed and bloom and be consumed and spark hope and not doom. So if you're feeling good in this room, make some noise. Fight for madness, come on. You guys ready to celebrate with us? Are you ready to celebrate with us? So in just a moment, I would like to welcome the man himself. Someone who is a close friend of my dad's, my pops, and someone who continues to inspire me and keep the tradition alive. And he's going to be doing a special duet tonight. So I'd like to welcome to the stage John Sinclair with Mark Ritzma. Please make them welcome and give it up for Sean now on sax. Please keep that energy going and keep that up going. Welcome to the stage.
I was staying as a guest with Mark Ritzma in Rotterdam. Oh, it was almost 10 years ago when I wrote this piece. It's called Everything Happens to Me. I'd like to start with that tonight. All my life I've paid and paid until my dues card is punched up on all four sides. A child of relative privilege who chose to take the way of the lowest. Beatnik, dope fiend, poet, provocateur, race traitor and renegade, living from hand to mouth and euro to euro, sleeping on the couches and extra beds of my friends, a man without a country and a post office box in New Orleans for a permanent address. A prepaid Vodafone and a laptop computer. One suitcase stuffed with clothing and a bag full of manuscripts and hand-burnt CDs. To keep my head straight and my heart right, to keep up my travels and carry on the struggle into another new years. Taking my little verses and great big world outlook, everywhere people will have me. if there are standards against which we stand to be measured or measure ourselves and are found wanting, like I want to be in Paris in April, but I'll be in Detroit instead, which is a whole different place indeed. Or we find we measure up, or go so far beyond the mark, like Monk on April in Paris, or Bird with Strings, or the Wild Bill Davis arrangement by Basie. Let's hear it one more once. This is not at all what those squares had in mind when they wrote this shit for some corny Broadway musical. Junkies shooting dope and playing their songs inside out like that, turning Broadway upside down and shaking a few pitiful coins out its pockets. These are standards because everybody knows them. Little simple melodies hammered into the public body through sheer repetition. Blam, 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 blam. 20 or 30 times a day. Always the same fucking way. Little pop tunes with a bare modicum of intelligence or invention, except as they are invested and propelled beyond their premises by the genius of a Monk or Bird or Bud Powell, giants of spontaneous composition, total masters of creative abstraction, turning the Western world on its ear. April in Paris or autumn in New York. They set a standard so high, we are still trying to reach it. This poem was inspired by the beautiful ballad composed by Thelonious Monk called Ruby, My Dear. A red candle burning in a red glass on a red tablecloth in a dark corner of a darkened nightclub. A cigarette burning in a red plastic ashtray, a Chesterfield King with lipstick red on the ends and the smoke from the cigarette in her eyes. Her skin is deep chocolate or golden cream or any of the million gorgeous hues of American women of African descent. Purest black to highest yellow, and every imaginable shade in between. This is a song to the woman in the red dress, her Zuli, or Ruby, my dear, as one would have her, pinned against the keyboard, rush of hips and thigh, rush of lips and breast, the most beautiful ass in the history of Western civilization, turned out over the top of the thighs, out to the western edge of Africa, and back to the States again to meet the small of her back. The smell of jasmine and musk rising from her flesh in the closeness and warmth of the tiny woman. Her eyes so impossibly soulful, trained at the bandstand. The band is Bird, Monk on piano, Mingus and Shadows at 3 a.m. Sunday morning. A bottle of champagne, half drunk at the table. The music is soft and sweet. It is deep with intelligence and spirit as the woman herself. Ruby, my dear. Her big heart with song. I think we played this the first time Mark and I ever performed together about 12 years ago at this time of year. It was at the Milk Bag, I think, called the Crossing Borders Festival. I always like to do this at this time of year. Any day can be the lucky one, or the one with your number written all over it. 1, 2, 3, 507 in the poet's case. Walking out the front door of the penitentiary, 8:30 p.m., 42 years ago. 6 times 7 years, the cycle of struggle to make it through in one piece, on the yard or in these streets. Anyone who can pick up a frying pan owns death, Burroughs said. And sometime in New York City, coming home from the recording studio, walking up to his front door. John Lennon with a gun stuck in his face. Oh, sweet giant of song, with a heart of huge dimension and eyes deep in the sky. There has to be a day when each of us must pass beyond this tedious sphere to enter some wondrous place of which we do not know whether we're ready or not. Some other place or space out of time where no punk with a weapon will ever press you again or blow off your face out of the depths of his madness. No one will take us, no one will hold us against our will in a cell with bars in front and back, 6 feet by 4 feet by 8 feet high. No one will take us out of our natural lives and send us away from here by means of some murderous fantasy in which we are denied everything we have lived for. Oh, please let us die at the end of our own time and not before. Free in our world of strife. Let us have life as long as we can. And please, let there be men like Monk and John Lennon to share their hearts and light up our ways as long as we Friday the 13th. I'm having such a good time, I want to do one more. Okay, bye. This is a poem that starts with a line from a poet called Robert Lowell. I was never a big fan of his poetry so much, but he was one of the guys in that first rank of artists to explore the effects of LSD. I was talking to Fly about this today. Timothy Leary was conducting his LSD experiments with prisoners in the state of Massachusetts. And he was having such interesting effects, he thought, man, I wonder if it would be like to get some artists to try this stuff and see what happens. So he enlisted the services of the great poet Allen Ginsberg, a long-time psychic explorer himself. And Ginsberg went around and turned on different people. One of them was Monk, Dizzy Gillespie, Charles Wilson, rock and roll. So I had mine a couple years after that, first time. So I feel like a link in that chain. And I read this line by Robert Lowell and it made me think of this whole poem. Robert Lowell said, living without you is like learning learning to walk. But twice now I've had to learn to walk. And living without you in my life is a much harder proposition. More difficult indeed than simply growing old alone. But how old can a man get who has already lived twice as long as he ever intended? Every day is a whole new thing, never before contemplated or even imagined. A gift from the gods who administer our sentences with their twisted sense of humor. And when the Beatles asked the question so long ago, will you still need me? Will you still feed me when I'm 64? The answer is not at all the one I'd expected, of course. But I'll go on living as long as I can and make the most of it as best as I am able. I'll wash in the love of my daughters and my incredible granddaughter and my thousands of friends and countless co-conspirators wherever I go. That old man, still alive and kicking with both feet. Thank you. Mark Ritzville.
Sinclair.
Just my way, must have my I'll never say it can be done. People are talking, but I don't care. I'm 21, far from done. I'm just begun. Wrap your chums round this stick of tea. Blow this gauge and get high with me. Beauty is my weakness. Well, I know it's bad. It sends me gay, and I can't wait. I'm by my man. Myself. I didn't like it the first time. Yes, I was mighty young. I used to run away from this stuff, but now somehow it's getting around. I didn't like it the first time, but oh, how it wrong me. So I just made the change. Somehow it's always hitting the spot, especially when they bring it in hot. I didn't like it the first time, but oh how it grew on me. Well, I didn't like it the first time. Guess I was just quite young, just 16. I didn't like it the first time. I guess I was mighty free. Somehow it's always hitting the spot, especially when they bring it in hard. I didn't like it the first time, but oh, how it grew on me. Oh, how it grew on me. Oh, how it grew. Oh, how it grew on me. Sitting on a million, sitting on it every day. Can't make no money, giving your stuff away. What won't you do now? Like the millionaires do. Put your stuff on the market, make a million too. They say fate's a betting woman. She bets on every hand. She's a cheating mama for you. Everywhere she lands, why don't you do now like the millionaires do? Come on, put your stuff on the market and make that million too. out of her back door. She's got hot stuff for sale. Why don't you do now like the millionaires do? Come on, put your stuff on the market and get a million too. Come on. Soothe me with your caress, sweet marijuana, marijuana. Help me in my distress, sweet marijuana. Soothe me with your caress, sweet marijuana, marijuana. Help me in my distress, sweet marijuana, please do. You alone can bring my love back to me. Even though I know it's all a fantasy, and then put me asleep, sweet marijuana,
As he said, he is the poet. With some words to share. One more time, John Sinclair and the Vipers. Thank you so much.
Baba Israel, all the way from New York City. Thanks, baby. Yako. I want to send a shout out to my old pal Dave Hirsch.
Yeah, you're right, John.
We were on WWOZ radio together in New Orleans.
You're the man, John. You're the man.
Thanks, baby. When I first came to Amsterdam was in 1998 for the Cannabis Cup. I had the honor and privilege of serving as the high priest during that period. I brought my band from New Orleans and we played several nights at the Nutmeg. And I composed a suite honoring Louis Armstrong and Mez Mesrol for their key role in introducing marijuana to America through their music and their practices. And I set some of their works to verse and wrote other parts. So I'm going to do a couple of pieces from that. It's called Viper Madness. Like our show is named after that. And I had an album I made with a band in Detroit called Planet D, on that called Viper Madness. So with all the rest of my shit on the CD Baby, if you ever want to get one. Or here in Amsterdam at the Ham Shopper on the Single Canal. We want to thank our producer, Mr. Sidney Daniels, from Ham Shopper and CERES for bringing us together here tonight. And everything he does for us. Okay. This was written after a Mez Mesrol composition called Sending the Vipers. Way back in the day, when marijuana was something people smoked in Mexico, or Mexicans brought with them to the United States and smoked quietly amongst themselves. There were musicians in New Orleans and Los Angeles and Chicago who were introduced to weed by their Mexican friends and began to apply its magical properties to the shaping of the new music, just then beginning to emerge from deep within the hearts and minds of a new generation of Americans, born after the emancipation of the slaves and on or around the turning of a new century, propelled by electricity and charged with the promise of a wild new kind of individual freedom. Way back in the day, when the music that would be called jazz first issued forth from the trumpets and drums of musicians in New Orleans who knew how to make people dance, and took the music with them to Los Angeles in 1912, and Chicago a couple of years later, and Joe King Oliver and his Creole Jazz Band came up from New Orleans to pack the cabarets and nightclubs of the south side of Chicago with the sound of jazz and set the tempo for the development of the music for everyone who followed them. And in 1922, Joe Oliver called up Louis Armstrong to join him in Chicago and set the whole world on fire with their brilliant improvisations and the unbridled power of swing. I'm the king of everything. Gotta get high before I can swing. Light a little tea and let it be. If you's a viper.
And when your throat gets dry, you know you're high, and everything is empty. Truck on down to the candy store and bust your conch on peppermint candy. Well, then you know your body's wet.
Don't give a damn if you don't pay rent.
Sky's high and so am I.
If you's a viper. Most of us were getting our tea, as says, from these Spanish boys who kept coming up from Mexico with real golden leaf, the best that could be had. Papa, you never snacked your chops on anything sweeter in all your days of vaping. It had such a wonderful smell. And the kick you got was really out of this world. I waited on the cats in the barbecue, and pretty soon all Harlem was after me to light them up. Before I knew it, I had to write to our connection for a large supply, because everybody I knew wanted kept saying. Before I knew it, I was standing on the corner, pushing gay. Only I did no pushing. I just stood under the tree of hope, my pokes full up, and the cats came and went, and so did all my golden week. Overnight, I was the most popular man in Harlem, and I was to become known as the Reaper King, the link between the races, the philosopher, the Mez, Papa Mez, Mother Mez, Pops's boy, the white mayor of Harlem, the man about town, the man that hit the world, the man that made history, the man with the righteous bush, he who diggeth the digger, Father Neptune. New words came into being to meet the situation. Losies and loseros were coined so guys could refer to my gauge without having anybody else dig it. And some of our musician pals used to stick these hip phrases into their songs when they broadcast over the radio, because they knew we'd be hunched around the radio at the barbecue, and that was their way of saying hello to me and all the pipers. That mellow Mexican leaf really started something in Harlem, a whole new language, almost a whole new culture.
If you survive, well, you dreamed about a reefer 5 feet long. Mighty man stands not too tall. Well, you get high enough for long. If you survive, I'm the king of everything.
Gotta get high so I can swing.
Well, I don't see.
Will it be?
If you survive, oh, while your throat gets dry, you know you're high. Everything is empty. Truck rolled down to the candy store.
Bust your corn, cut peppermint candy.
Then you know you get your sweet buddy said,
Don't give a damn if you don't pay rent.
sky's high.
So am I, if you's a viper. Yeah. Now, Steve. I want to thank Steve Fly on the drums and musical director for this evening. Fly.
Probably we're not used to that. We used to some.
Very good, man.
We're 13. Come on. You guys have no fans.
This is a piece that was inspired by an old blues number. First recorded by Ma Rainey, Bessie Smith, Billie Holiday made a version. Jimmy Witherspoon had the #1 rhythm and blues record in the country with his version around 1949. It's called Ain't Nobody's Business If I Do. How about a hand for Esther, ladies and gents? Thank you, baby. You sounded mighty good. Looking good, too.
If I just had a notion to jump right into the ocean, well, it ain't nobody's business if I do. If I go to church on Sunday and cabaret old play one day, it ain't nobody's business if I do.
habits. And if we want to blow our minds or fuck up our lives, shoot dope or smoke cocaine, if we want to eat too much meat, sit around all day and watch TV, stay up all night listening to music by Charlie Parker and Screamin' Jay Hawkins. If we want to walk around naked, fuck our eyes out, eat some pussy or suck a cock, take it up the ass, get our nuts up 700 times a day, lay around and drink whiskey, bet on games, shoot dice, sell some pussy in our red window. If we want to gamble in casinos or spend our money in a whorehouse, give the president a blowjob in his big chair in the White House, walk around the streets with all our belongings in little bags, sleep in doorways, piss in the gutter. If we want to sleep away the day and never answer the telephone, take every meal in restaurants and bars and never exercise. And if it comes to the end of the line for us, we have every right to blow our motherfucking brains out, or jump off the bridge, or take ourselves away from here any way we might want to. Then baby, please, we got a right to our bad habits, and it ain't nobody's business if we do.
Ain't nobody's business. If I just take the notion to jump right into the ocean, well, ain't nobody's business. If I do, if I do, well, if I want to smoke weed all day Sunday, and I stay in bed all my other weekdays, well, it ain't nobody's business.
If I do.
Oh no, it ain't nobody's business. Ain't nobody's business. It ain't nobody's business.
Amsterdam in 1998, along with James Andrews, Christopher Cole, and Michael Walker on the drums. You ready, gents? I'm going to cap this off right now. When you go to the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, they got people coming there from all over the world to test the finest marijuana grown by the seed companies of Holland, for us to smoke and get high and enjoy the wonderful atmosphere of a society where they just don't care if you want to get high. Hey, that's just fine. Come on over here to the coffee shop and order up whatever kind of weed or hash you might want to smoke, 'cause it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. But when we get back to the United States, it ain't gonna be nothing like this. 'Cause they got a war on people like us. They call it the war on drugs. But they don't give a fuck about drugs. 'Cause if you got a prescription from a doctor, you can get just as loaded as any human being has ever been on the planet Earth. They just don't like us getting high on marijuana or cocaine or whatever we might want to use to affect a certain change in our consciousness. Now, I like to get high. I'm not gonna make any bones about it. I like to get high, and you know, whatever I like to get high on, I believe I have a right to do this here. And you too, and everybody in our society, because people want drugs. We want to get high. People have been getting high ever since there's been people. They've been getting high. They've been fucking. They've been doing this since time immemorial. These things have been going on, and they will continue to go on. So to keep us from getting high, like we are today, here at the Cannabis Cup in Amsterdam, they got police. They got so many police, you couldn't even believe it. They got narco police. They got narco terrorists. They got dogs. They got helicopters. They got shit killing the stuff off in the fields. They got planes going out all over the world trying to keep this shit from getting to the United States. And when it does get here, it costs so much money, you couldn't even believe it. So, we're gonna forget about the United States all week long. And when they announce on Thanksgiving Day who grew the best pot for us to smoke and get high on, let's give thanks for every strain of weed that makes its way here to us. We offer our profound thanks to Louis Armstrong and Les Mesro for the beauty of their contributions to our lives today, and for leading the way through the morass of American life, with special appreciation for all the growers of marijuana all over the world, and our intrepid comrades who risk life and limb to supply us with the substances we require. And to all the warriors doing time in the vast penitentiaries of America as prisoners of the war on drugs. We salute you all and thank you once again for all the good you have done. Because it's all good. Yeah. It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Thanks everybody. Thanks to Disaster. Thanks to Baba. Yaakov. Thanks to Mark Ritzman. Thanks to all the fellows in the band. Thanks to Steve the Fly for pulling these things together. And our producer, Brother Sidney Daniels. Thanks. I'm John Sinclair. Great to be here once again. And good night.
Put your hands together, make some noise for the vipers. Freedom fighters who had to struggle, watch out for snipers. Drop the rhythm when I do it. Some people serve time in prison so they can reward the healing. Come out again to see what life is revealing. When you give this microphone the time you were stealing, taking the moment I flip away, we start to stow away in a life of journey and we leave away from decay. So we start to sway and play and let our bodies some get high, just light in the J. So I'm just chilling in the building, feeling, revealing, we know this is what we do with the musical flow. When it's the muse, the cruise, we do spit the blues. Whether it's jazz, hip hop, we got our grooves. Blowing, flowing every time I make it happen. When I just spit the poetry, I do my rapping. It's like that, so we strike back and say it one more time. Make some noise for the Vikings. We display it. John Sinclair and Esther and everyone who shared tonight. We're about to shine it bright, so I grab the mic and get the flow like this. We send in the night and we end it with a kiss. Reminisce with the storytelling. No need for yelling, but we dwelling and make our casting. We're spelling with spells and magic, the tragic. We do it emphatic when we do it like that, cause this is the rap. Giving the rhythm, I'm flowing over, I'm giving the time. Giving you a piece, my heart and my mind. So we about to end sublime, so let your soul shine. It's all good. It's all good. Like John Sinclair said, it's all good. Yes, it's all good.
It's all good. Come on, it's all good. It's all good, yeah. It's all good.
Thank you so much. Have a great night, y'all. Enjoy.